I just cut my Tuesday afternoon editing pass from 90 minutes down to 11, and I didn't rewrite a single sentence myself. Most people with a Gemini account have never touched the feature that did it. I've been rebuilding my workflow around this for weeks. And here's what shocked me. Almost everyone using Gemini is still retyping the same instructions into a chat box every day. Like the fix hasn't been sitting inside their account this whole time. So in this video, I'm building 3 Gemini Gems live, on screen. So there's no ambiguity about how any of it actually works. We're covering which settings actually change behavior, and then getting honest about where gems genuinely fall short, so you're not disappointed after the fact. First one, a content editor that trims your drafts without changing your voice. The fundamental shift. A Gemini gem is not a separate model, and it's not a plugin. It's a saved configuration on top of the same underlying Gemini model everyone already has access to, built from 3 ingredients: a name, a set of instructions you write once, and optionally, a set of reference files it can draw on for context. Once saved, it shows up in your Gemini sidebar, ready to open anytime without you re-explaining who you are or what you need. A gem does not make Gemini smarter in some raw capability sense. Google isn't swapping in a bigger model behind the scenes. What it removes is the repetition tax, the cost of restating your context, your preferences, and your constraints every time you open a new conversation. That sounds small until you total up how much time it actually costs across a normal work week. One more distinction worth knowing. This is different from Gemini's custom instructions, which apply to every conversation you have. A gem only activates when you specifically open it, which is why you can run 5 or 6 specialized experts side by side without any of them bleeding into each other. Under the hood, these run on Google's current Gemini 3 model family, with context windows up to 1 million tokens on Gemini 3 Pro and up to 2 million on Gemini 3.5 Pro. In plain English, a single gem can process an entire codebase or thousands of pages of reference material without forgetting anything. ChatGPT has closed some of that gap this year. Its paid-tier reasoning models now reach 250,000 to 400,000 tokens. But Gemini's ceiling is still noticeably higher. And gems aren't locked behind a subscription. They're available on the free plan too. Keep that gap in mind because it matters later when we talk about what gems cannot do. Building your first gem, the content editor. Let's build something you can use today. Open Gemini, find the gems option in the side panel, and select New. First field is the name. Be more specific than feels necessary, because a vague name like Writing Helper gives you almost nothing to work with once you've got 5 or 6 gems saved. I call mine Content Editor. The instructions box is where essentially all the value lives. Treat it like onboarding a new team member who's talented but knows nothing about your specific situation. State the role, the tone, the format, and anything the gem should never do. This one reviews drafts for clarity and trims unnecessary padding without changing voice. And critically, one line tells it to flag, rather than silently rewrite anything that changes factual meaning. Watch how much that guardrail matters once we test it. Third piece, optional reference material. This is the part people skip that actually separates a strong gem from a mediocre one. Attach style guides, examples of work you liked, glossaries specific to your field, anything that gives the gem concrete material to pattern match against, instead of guessing from a paragraph of instructions alone. Hit save, and it's live. Now let's test it, because the value only becomes obvious once you run it against a real task. I fed it a rough paragraph, padded with filler and a couple of run-on sentences, exactly what a first draft looks like under deadline pressure. It came back trimmed, in the right voice, with one line flagged where a factual claim looked ambiguous instead of silently rewritten. That flagging didn't happen by accident. It happened because the instructions explicitly asked for it. That's the actual lesson. Output quality is a direct function of how carefully you wrote step 2, not luck, and not a hidden model upgrade. Weak instructions produce a gem that feels only marginally better than a normal chat, which is exactly why so many people try gems once and never come back. And here's the part that changes the math. The 4th time you use the same gem for the same task type is where the real payoff shows up, not the first. The Research Summarizer gem. Second one, for anyone who reads papers, reports, or long documents as part of their job and needs the same structure pulled out every time. I instructed this gem to always extract methodology, sample size, and stated limitations before conclusions. Not a vague summarize this, but 4 specific fields, every time. That specificity turns a request that used to come back differently, depending on my mood, into a consistent, checkable output I can actually trust. Feed it a dense report with buried caveats, And instead of a generic 3-paragraph summary, you get a structure you can scan in 10 seconds. What they tested, how many people, what they admitted, they didn't prove. That last part is the one people skip when summarizing by hand under time pressure. And it's exactly the part this gem is instructed to never leave out. The meeting notes gem. Third one, and this is the one that saved me the most actual hours this month. I gave it a template for action items, owners, and deadlines, and pointed it at raw meeting transcripts. What used to be a wall of unstructured text turns into something a team can act on immediately. No human doing the formatting pass afterward. The instructions are blunt. Pull every commitment made out loud. Assign it to whoever said it. Flag anything without a stated deadline instead of inventing one. The common thread across all 3 gems is specificity, not clever wording. A vague sentence like "act as an expert editor" gets generic results barely different from asking Gemini directly. 3 or 4 concrete constraints, tone, format, what to flag, what never to touch, get you outputs that save real time by the second or third use. Worth being honest about who benefits most. Someone doing the same structured task daily gets a genuinely large time return within the first week. Someone whose requests vary wildly day to day gets far less, because there's no stable pattern for the instructions to lock onto. Gems versus GPTs. This sounds a lot like ChatGPT's Custom GPTs. Why should you care about gems specifically? It comes down to where you spend most of your digital life. If you live in Google Docs, Sheets, Gmail, and Drive, gems are objectively superior. They have living document connectivity. Update your source file in a Google Sheet, and your gem sees the change immediately. With GPTs, you'd have to manually re-upload every time you edit, and that friction adds up fast. Gems also integrate natively with Gmail, letting a gem summarize threads or flag messages without you ever leaving your inbox, where GPTs require copy-pasting content back and forth. The context window gap matters too. Gemini's up to 2 million token capacity on its top model means you can feed a gem an entire codebase or a comprehensive policy manual and get a coherent synthesis. ChatGPT's reasoning tiers have grown this year, but still top out well under that, so large documents there are more likely to get broken into chunks. That said, GPTs still win for one thing: building actual applications, external API connections, or automated workflows for non-technical users. But for personal productivity, research, and daily task management, gems win. GPTs are for when you want to build a product. Gems are for when you want to build your life. Privacy and data governance. Before we wrap up, the elephant in the room. You're feeding these gems personal drafts, internal reports, meeting transcripts. What's Google doing with all of that? On a personal account, the keep activity setting is your main control. Turn it off, and Google uses your chats to respond in the moment, but does not use them to train future models. For workspace customers, the protections are stronger. Data stays isolated within your organization, isn't shared with other customers, and isn't used to train outside models, with end-to-end encryption on prompts. Google also blocks gems that generate self-harm instructions, weapons guidance, or medical advice contradicting established science. And even with all of that, gems aren't infallible. Always verify anything a gem gives you for legal, medical, or financial decisions. These are assistants, not replacements for professional expertise. The honest limitations. Here's the part nobody puts in the thumbnail. A gem has no memory beyond what you explicitly attach and what happens inside one ongoing conversation. Close it, open a fresh conversation with the same gem, and it starts cold again, not from anything you discussed last week. That surprises people expecting something closer to a persistent assistant that remembers your entire relationship over time. There's also a real ceiling on how much reference material helps. Attach too many files or poorly organized ones, and the gem can struggle to prioritize what actually matters. None of this is Google hiding something. It's a direct consequence of what a gem is: a configuration layer over an existing model, not a new memory system built just for you. Iterating after the build. The version I built in the first 10 minutes wasn't the final version, and treating it that way is the mistake almost everyone makes early on. Run the gem against 3 or 4 real tasks. Notice where the output drifts from what you wanted, and tighten the instructions in response. My first pass on the content editor trimmed a sentence that needed to stay for context, which led directly to adding a line telling it to preserve any sentence that sets up information used later. That fix came from watching a real failure, not from anticipating it in advance. That's genuinely how this is supposed to work. If a gem feels mediocre on day 1, that's not a dead end. Go back and read the instructions with fresh eyes. looking for anywhere you assumed the model would infer something you never actually stated. Gems don't fill in unstated context the way a coworker who knows your history would. The gap between a gem that feels like magic and one that feels flat is almost always sitting in exactly that unstated assumption, waiting to be found and written down. Where this is already heading. Google already shipped the next step here. The Google Home speaker launched in June, and Gemini for Home is now rolling out across Nest speakers and displays, replacing Google Assistant after 6 years. So the gems you build are starting to become reachable through voice, not just a screen. And they get smarter the more you use them, every time you refine the instructions after a real failure, like we did today. Building a gem takes about 5 minutes. Getting real value out of one takes more care than that. It closes the repetition gap. It doesn't close the memory gap, and it doesn't make Gemini a fundamentally more capable model than what everyone else already has for free. Before this video ends, go build one gem for a task you genuinely repeat every week, and come back to the comments and tell me how much time it saved you. Subscribe for the next hands-on walkthrough, and I'll see you in the next one.